it's interesting because back in the days, most of the media was based in articles, interviews, but there are new formats these days, and we've been around for a few years. Maybe we have seen the transition. So, in terms of communication, how much it's how much trend is now to communicate via videos of 30 seconds versus articles, and you do a bit of both. How do you decide what's the right format, let's say?
I mean, we're trying to really reach everyone across all platforms. I think sometimes with critiquing articles, it's best done in a piece of writing that then can be sent out to our subscribers, and it's also to add some of the successes that we've had, to advertise those sorts of things. That's important. I mean, in recent years, you're right, the short form video format has taken over the internet, and I do those, and we try to put those out because, it's one thing is for us to call out the media and tell people that they're getting it wrong, and then they're doing this. But, I mean, in fact, to illustrate this point, one of my favorite videos of this entire conflict was, I don't know who the guy is, but he'd gone to a march in London, a pro-Palestinian march, and they were chanting, from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. And he'd gone up to a number of these young people, 19, 20, in their sort of kafirs, holding their signs. And he just said, so which river and which sea? And none of them could name which river, and none could name which sea. And it just became abundantly clear that, they all hate Israel because they think Israel is an apartheid state, or it's doing genocide because they've listened to these buzzwords that have been thrown out. And I thought, they actually, I think if you gave them a map, most of these, they couldn't even point out Israel. Yeah. So I thought, okay, and the team, our amazing social media team, we thought, okay, we need to reach young people, and it's not just saying the media are wrong. We need to tell them why we're right. And the way to get to young people is probably through short form videos, which break down things into really easy facts that maybe they'll watch. And they have, these videos have really done incredibly well. They're being shared a lot. And it's great to see, because that means that it's a different audience from the one that we had traditionally engaged solely, kind of 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And that's good, because I hope that these are the kinds of videos that, where there are young college students in the United States who might have watched them, or who might be kind of pro-Israel. I don't even just mean Jewish students. I mean, I think there are a lot who kind of think, God, do I agree with this crowd, this pro-Palestinian bunch who are screaming on the college green? Yeah. And maybe they'll watch these videos and go, okay, this is what I can say when people are saying this to me, and to give them the facts that they can spread. So that's the idea behind those, and of course all the other X, Twitter, we're obviously very active on. So yeah, trying to reach as many people as possible, especially those who wouldn't traditionally be interested in Israel or support Israel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want to say. I mean, that's the target, because if we talk to those who already understood that the media is their enemy and is telling things that are not true at all, then I mean, we can talk to them and reassure them, but I think there's a lot of work to be done on people who are a bit confused. There are some that I wouldn't have any hope, but there are like a good few who don't know exactly what to think at this point. Like, some people listen so many sources, and they cannot make conclusions. And maybe if someone come up with a basis, with being on the field like yourself, that you are in Israel, you're not just reporting what's going on in Gaza from Cambridge. It's very different. No? You are there. So I think that plays a huge role. And back in the days, Like journalists used to go to the field. They still go, but not as often as before. I tend to see some people sitting on couches and preaching about what should be decided for society, and that's so appalling. And but it seems to be a trend that people think that a laptop is enough to understand the whole civilization. It's much more complex than that.